Si, ici, là, la voix. La voix. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This is a joint work with my colleagues of the University of Aachen in Germany. In structural mechanics, the model analysis coupled with the finite element method is widely used by engineers. But working in high dimension spaces is time consuming, often intractable, and requires big pieces of data. Hence, the need to simplify the models. As illustrations here, you see 3 unstable modes of vibrations of pad disk system in automotive brake. The proper orthogonal decomposition or PUD is one of the most successful used model reduction techniques, but it is based on the matrix structure of the configuration space. While in dynamics, the space of motions is equipped naturally with a symplectic structure. Variant adapted to the dynamics is the proper symplectic decomposition, or PSD, proposed by Peng and Mosseny. Our starting point is a data cloud containing one or many system evolutions. For instance, with this building, I don't know, we have. It is subjected to various excitations, wind, earthquakes, and so on. And our aim, our approach is a little bit different from the one proposed by Peng and Mosseny. Our aim is to extract from a data cloud or one or many system evolutions the leading eigenmodes and the principal component of the Hamiltonian. To begin with, some words about my notations and notion of symplectic mechanics. Relatively simple. The space V is symplectic. The dual V star is equipped with a B vector. Q are the degrees of freedom, displacement and rotations. P, the corresponding momenta. X is a couple QP, living in V of finite dimensions, so it can be identified to R2N. Omega is a symplectic, canonical symplectic form on this space, so we can identify V and V star with flat and sharp isomorphism. The symplectic gradient or Hamiltonian vector fields construct from the derivative of the function h and the symplectic form restitutes the equation of motions if h is the Hamiltonian of the system. We denote caps H, the Hessian matrix, two covariant tensor living in V star times V star. We would like to rewrite the model analysis in the language of the symplectic mechanics as an equivalence problem. In other words, there exists a symplectic matrix S living in the symplectic group of V, mapping H onto the Hamiltonian H prime of a reduced system of independent harmonic oscillators and caps H onto the diagonal Hessian matrix H prime with eigenvalues K corresponding to Q and G corresponding to P. Take care because it is not a standard eigenvalue problem in the sense that even if H is real symmetric, the transformation matrix S is not orthogonal, but symplectic. Nevertheless, we can recast it in a more classical problem as it will be going to see now. We start by constructing the Hamiltonian matrix H omega by applying the sharp isomorphism to H. Next, we decompose the symplectic matrix into a group of n columns U and V and n columns V. That leads to two intertwined eigen problems. But it's possible, of course, to eliminate one of the two eigenvectors, for instance, V, and we can transform it into a classical eigen problem where the matrix is the square of H omega and the eigen values lambda are minus K times G. In the most of the case, the structure is well supported, so the Hessian matrix is positive definite, and it can be proved by simple algebra that the eigenvalues are negative. Also, the eigenvectors U and V corresponding to the same eigenvalues that I call twin eigenvectors are not orthogonal with respect to the symplectic form. Have a look to the particular case of the standard model analysis with a decoupled Hamiltonian, sum of the kinetic energy depending only on P and the potential elastic energy depending only on Q. So the twin vectors are degenerated where A is the usual classical eigenmode, and we recover the classical eigen problem where the eigenvalue lambda is minus the square of the eigenfrequency. And also the normalization condition constructed with the scalar product built on the mass matrix M can be recast omega of the twin vector equal to 1, a nice formula. Attention, because our method is more general and allows to treat also cases where there are terms coupling Q and P. For instance, problem with Coriolis force or electromagnetic fields staying to interacting electrical cables, vibrating. From now on, the eigenvectors are scaled to fulfill the normalization conditions so as to form a canonical basis. And thanks to the skewed symmetrics matrix J involved in the symplectic form, we can build the dual basis composed of V star and U star vectors. And above all, it leads to the spectral decompositions of the identity of V next of the Hamiltonian matrix, and with flat isomorphism, we deduce the spectral decomposition of the Hessian matrix, a result that will be used later on. We hope to address the following problem. We arrive to the proper symplectic decompositions, data being given in the form of a structural evolution, X of t, or a concatenation of structural evolutions. We want to construct an approximation of the Hamiltonian. It is typically an inverse problem. And the proposed method itemizes in the following 4 steps. The let W infinite be a functional space of square integrable function on the time interval 0 to caps t. And though with this matrix where we divide by caps t because we have to consider the limit when caps t approaches the infinity, so we have to obtain a finite limit. These functions are approximated by vectors living in approximation space Wm of dimension m, equipped with the following scalar products, and where this finite sum is the discretization of the integral. So now we first of all each discretized value of x is multiplied by j to obtain a covector, a vector living in the dual V star, and we store them in a covariant snapshot matrix X star that can be interpreted as a linear map from Wm into the dual V star. And inspiring from the singular value decompositions, we introduce the following positive semi-definite symmetric matrix H. It is the important formula. It is a two-covariant tensor, and in the POD, the SVD decompositions of a rectangular matrix is based only on the canonical Klein structure of Rn for the domain and codomain of the snapshot matrix. We modify this original scheme to take into account the matrix derived from the discretization for the domain and the symplectic structure for the codomain. Our algorithms, in our algorithms, we start with a data cloud containing in a jumbles all the possible evolution of the structures. Next, we construct by the previous formulas approximated, reduced Hamiltonian, and we can stop just there for the applications, but we would like to verify the convergence property of our scheme by calculating also the eigen values. Because we can prove convergence properties we can prove that the matrix given by this formula converges to a matrix which allows to find the exact eigenvectors and eigenvalues when the time interval caps t of the data increases, the time discretization is refined, so m increases, and the mode combinations is balanced in a sense that will appear later on. Of course, if some eigenmodes are poorly represented in the data, we find only a reduced Hamiltonian. But the interest of this method is that we can improve it if we enrich the data clues. We converge to the exact Hamiltonian matrix. It is not possible to give here general demonstrations, but I give a sketch for the particular case of where the excitation is initial velocity. The evolutions of the degrees of freedom is a linear combination of harmonic terms containing the eigenmodes. Alpha I are the coefficients of the linear combinations. We can deduce from it the covariant vector in terms of the dual of the twin eigenvectors. And next, we refine the time discretization. M goes to the infinity, and this discrete sum converges to this integral. We introduce this expression in the integral that give rise to 4 terms, of which two vanish, 2 disappear because the scalar product, corresponding scalar product vanishes. For the 2 remaining scalar products, we kill the terms depending on caps t by considering the limit when caps t approaches the infinity. And finally, we obtain these decompositions that can we compare to the spectral decompositions. And so we identified the eigenvalues in terms of the eigenfrequency and the coefficients alpha I. So if the mode combination is balanced in the sense that all the alpha I are equal to 1, we find, in fact, the exact eigenvalues by comparison to the previous result. Now, to illustrate, we consider a simple problem of a clamped free elastic bar interaction. And so we choose an approximation of the displacement depending on 2 degrees of freedom. We can calculate the corresponding exact Hamiltonian. And when this expression are taken equal to 1, we have the reference value eigenvalues that are given in the in this table at the bottom row. When t and m are equal to 1, we obtain by this, the formula this approximation of the first eigenvalue with a rather accurate value, but the second one has an error of 11%. So we refine by a factor 4. And so the error is about 10 minus 3. And finally, with caps t equal to 20 and m equal to 100, the error drops off to 10 minus 5. It's very, very accurate. Now, the second sample is with the non-balanced combinations of 2 modes. The first one is divided by 2. And so now the first mode, the second mode is well represented, while the first one is not so. And but we can check with the theoretical formula that it will it must be divided by 16. And finally, in the sample 3, we have only the second eigenmode in the data. So the first eigenvalue is numerically 0, while the second one is accurate. As perspective, we want to extend this approach into direction. In the spirit constructing the elastic potential energy for the response to a set of statical loads. And the second extension is relatively ambitious because we want to consider dissipative dynamical system, for instance, with plasticity or viscoplasticity. And so we have to construct not only the Hamiltonian, but also the dissipation potential, phi, depending on the generalized velocity. And in this case, the motion being described by an Hamiltonian inclusion, because phi is not necessarily differentiable. And so we have to generalize derivatives, the subdifferential. Gratias vobis ago, thank you in Latin, the whole scientific language. Thank you very much for your attention.
Je introduis le dernier.
Oui.